Hello, Bible readers. Have you ever felt hunted, like life is out to get you? Remember the 23rd Psalm that says, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all of my days"? Well, Psalm 31 is a way to come into the presence of God in prayer to say that it feels like I'm not being pursued by goodness or mercy so much as it feels like I've been caught in a net that has been waiting for me. Maybe it's an illness that makes the psalmist feel trapped. I know I've spoken to a number of people throughout my ministry who have felt trapped by pain or a diagnosis, or the psalmist maybe feels trapped by their grief, some kind of depression, a circumstance that they just can't get out of. Whatever it is, it leads to what is likely the most familiar verse of this psalm, since Jesus quotes it himself from the cross in the Gospel of Luke. "Into your hand I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God." We can't know exactly how the Psalms were used by worshiping communities in ancient Israel, how the temple in Jerusalem incorporated these Psalms into the life of the people. Could have been this, could have been that. Were the Psalms used for personal prayers? Almost certainly, but they were also used as readings at certain times, a lot like we use scripture. I've posted about enthronement psalms that maybe were used when kings were anointed as kings. Maybe some psalms were used amidst actual trials, like when people were feeling falsely accused and they'd invoke, this psalm. But for all the lack of historical detail we may have for how the Psalms exactly were used, we Christians do have this moment from the Gospel of Luke that puts Psalm 31 in context of all things Luke would tell us that Jesus said as he's dying on the cross, having been hunted by authorities, trapped by the people who had been after him for so long. Jesus quotes this psalm. Psalm 31 models faith in the face of the most desperate kinds of trouble. And we have an actual concrete situation to imagine as we read it. Verses 9 to 10 are as desperate a couple verses as we're ever going to come across. "My eye wastes away from grief, my soul and body also, for my life is spent with sorrow and my years with sighing, my bones waste away." My Brueggemann and Bellinger commentary, when they look at these, they say, the petitioner is an ancient Humpty Dumpty, a shattered pot never to be put back together again. But then comes that magical moment, as we've seen in so many lament psalms, shattered, broken, desperate, and trusting. Verse 14, "But I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God." In other words, the pain or the grief, those who have trapped me, they still don't own me. They are not more powerful in my life than you, O God. And so even now, I trust in you. Not I will trust in you. I trust in you even now. You are my God. It's easy to confess God as Lord of our lives when everything's going pretty great. But in the tough times, when rivals show up in our lives that tempt us to think God maybe has forgotten about us, maybe doesn't care about us, maybe isn't as powerful as we had been told or as powerful as we hope, to confess trust in God then, that is like sticking with a friend, remaining committed to a marriage, persisting toward a goal through whatever comes. And the best example we can have of what that really looks like is Jesus dying on a cross and quoting a psalm of trust in that moment, the most extreme kind of moment. Even then, I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.